We're used to seeing Isaac Luke in the middle of all that, but of course he's not involved in this this Test series. I think it was Cody Nikarima who was leading at the start, wasn't it? Darlin, Martin Zalesniak.
I got to admit, Dave, I'm ready to go and play now. They got my blood fired up.
This is the way they're lining up here today. England, first of all, tantalising pairing in the heart of George Williams and Sam Tompkins, partners at Wigan, of course, last year. Debut for Oliver Gildart in the centres, a mix of the old redoubtables from last year's World Cup campaign and a sprinkling of fresh faces. Jake Connor at centre, the only Hull player. He's on home ground. He could be a scene stealer at some point today. He was, of course, in the Denver Test when he made his debut against the Kiwis. So New Zealand, plenty of formidable and familiar foes there as well. Sean Johnson at 6, Bromwich, Warrior Hargreaves and Proctor, the stout hearts in the pack. But there's some exciting new or newish talent as well. We're excited to watch out for Joey Manu, James Fisher-Harris and Brandon Smith, who I'm sure at some point today, Robbie will tell us his story, the Waiheke Wonder Kid. Robert Hicks
We're going on me, please.
is
okay,
our referee. Ben Thaler, should we require, is in the video booth as video referee. Big year for Robert Hicks, Challenge Cup final, Grand Final, and now the first Test. There he is, Jake Connor, home soil for him, Hull FC player. One or two eyebrows raised that he's been selected in the centres, but he's a special kind of player on his day. So we're underway, the first Test of this series. It's going to be England and Williams and then Graham who take first delivery of possession. So what is going to happen in the next 80 minutes? Well, for a guess, Robbie Hunter-Paul and Jonathan Davis.
Yeah, I think Michael Maguire mentioned it. It's the battle up front, trying to get the upper hand there, because collectively maybe the experience of the New Zealand halfbacks slightly edged it for me, but it's not great conditions, so ball retention and field position will be vitally important today.
Michael Maguire's also brought a new sort of discipline to the New Zealand team. It's a lot about numbers at this point in time. They want to finish sets. They want to be, by the end of this opening 40 minutes, they want to be completing at least 90% of their sets with great kicks on the back of it.
Sam Tompkins is flattened after putting the kick away, but the referees having nothing to do with that. New Zealand get possession. One of the oddities of England's home internationals is a lack of atmosphere sometimes, isn't it? We remember the New Zealand series here, what, 3-4 years ago, when the crowd barely stirred at times. So England need to maybe create something electric in these early stages to get the crowd going.
Yeah, I think it's a bit of both, really. You've got to get behind your side and make it as vocal as you possibly can to try and raise the players a little bit. But the players got to perform, cut the errors out. As I said, play in the right areas and put pressure on the opposition.
Fisher-Harris takes tackle 5, so here comes the last. Johnson with the kick away. Planted underneath it is Tommy Makinson. Only his second England performance. His first was in that end of the Test against New Zealand when he scored a try. So a fairly stable start from both sides' point of view. England reckon they deserve a penalty again. Here's Jermaine McGillivray, the man who makes the meters. Hodgson, dummy half, back in full fitness again after his heartbreak of the knee injury in the semi-final of the World Cup last year. Tom Burgess with that drive. Here's Bateman. Nice to see him playing in the second row for England as well. He's done a lot of occupying the centre's position, hasn't he, as cover. This now is Williams. Makinson's chasing after this. Connor's underneath it as well. Oh, it's a brilliant take by Makinson. Stumbling, it's still the sixth tackle, pops it over the top. Dragged down, Whitehead, picked up by Lomax, out it goes, and it's going to be Sam Tompkins who opens the scoring with less than 3 minutes played. The referee confirms, what a start for England. Tompkins the scorer.
Well, it's an absolutely brilliant start for England. Precise kick, you hang the kick up there so you can compete for it. And that's what happened, and what a brilliant take by Makinson, and he gets the offload in, and they had the numbers on the right hand side and they had to score. This is the kick, it's a brilliant kick, he hangs it up there. Just watch the timing of the jump, he gets in before the New Zealand player, slips the tackle, gets the offload, And then once that pass gets away, and this one, they got numbers. It's an easy walk in for Tompkins. What a start for England.
New Zealand Rugby League did absolutely everything right there. The defenders came back. They run a little bit of a block for Jordan Rapana when he went up for the ball, but Tommy Makinson, absolutely brilliant. He changed his line on the New Zealand defender, came inside him, who was Joseph Manu, and he just out-jumped Jordan Rapana. When he got that ball, then was able to keep the ball alive, and then all the numbers of England just pouring through. Great opportunity taken, points on the board.
What a start. Welcome back, Sam Tompkins. It's been a while between drinks for him, hasn't it? In the England squad for the first time since the 2014 Four Nations. Combination of a loss of form and injury, keeping him out of the international scene. Connor with a kick, and that'll be popular. The whole player puts it over, and England lead by 6 points to 0. What about the role of Whitehead here as well?
Well, I think the offloads are crucial. George Williams with a precise kick. He just gets in front of him, and this one is the first offload that's important. Then the second offload, he's got to get the ball away. They know where the numbers are. Lomas gets it wide, and that's an easy running for Tompkins. Great finish.
And that try doesn't happen unless England has the enthusiasm behind the numbers to get a lot of numbers in the tackle into the field of play as well. So great work by England, great enthusiasm, and that's what they needed to see in the opening 5 minutes of the game.
Tom Burgess with the initial drive. James Graham takes it on. And Hodgson again, and here's Bateman to just test them down the middle. Several of these England players, of course, already ensconced in the NRL, and several others will be joining them next year. Bateman's one of those. Hodgson already at Canberra. Here's Graham, back inside to Burgess again.
That's a great set again. Once again, they're over the halfway line, makes it a lot easier for the kicker.
So back it comes to Williams. Rapana underneath it. Not as much of a challenge this time, but they're onto him quickly, and he's going nowhere.
Going nowhere, and like Jonathan said, absolutely brilliant attacking set by England. They're staying in behind the ruck, keeping New Zealand on the back foot, and they're around 60 metres on the go forward. Watch it, both teams will put a lot of high balls up today because it allows your defence to get down there and get a flat catch, so you can get your defensive line directly on the catcher of the ball.
And a challenge down the middle, and a good offload as well there, and Momono is on a bit of a charge here. Smith out of dummy half. Here's Bromwich, Jesse Bromwich, one club man at Melbourne, and New Zealand 15 inside that England half this time. It's kicked away by Johnston. He's done a lot of work so far, making some one way or another, catching high kicks, either his own or Kiwis, and he's just about in the field of play.
Good chase there, but no pressure after the kick, so an easy take for Makinson.
Big defensive set coming here from the New Zealand team.
Oh, they're struggling to get away, England, aren't they, at the moment? Connor tries to spin. The crowd wanted a penalty for a high tackle. Connor's having a look at the referee as well. Now it goes wide. They've got a bit of width out there as well. And the defence is good enough. Gildart put down. Bateman collects. Here's Lomax. But they have reached the penultimate tackle, so they'll be going for a kick here. Behind the 40, Tompkins just drifting it for distance inside the New Zealand half. Martini Zalesniak will pick up and immediately begins to threaten.
Got on the outside of Connor there quite easily, that's the danger.
It's Manu. Johnson stands and waits to deliver. Warray Hargreaves. Brandon Smith in there. Johnson. We know all about him. It's run across towards that left-hand side. Oh, and it's an offload, but after the tackle had been called by the referee, so they have to go back.
You'll see that a lot from New Zealand. They'll play their front rowers wide of the ruck. A lot of teams will keep it nice and tight, but New Zealand like to play it wide. It starts to stretch the defence a little bit from left to right on the field.
Sixth play, sixth tackle the next. Here it comes with Johnston. And a little kick and a chase that's taken a deflection. It's spinning, it's fumbled backwards, the referee says. It's still all over the place, and then scooped up by Connor into the hands of Lomax. And England have it 15 away from their own line. Right, let's hear from Tanya down on the touchline. Tanya, what are you telling us?
Yeah, I've got Stefan Rashford with me. Stefan, a fantastic start for England.
Yeah, it's been a great start. I think, you know, first set of the game kind of set the tone. You know, receiving a kick-off and we marched on 55 metres or for a first set, that just, you know, outstanding, and like I said, really set the tone for the way the game's gone so far.
Was that a lot of the talk of needing to make a good start, not giving them a chance to get a sniff in this game early on?
Yeah, well, that's what you need to do. You need to keep the ball, you know, control the ball and turn it over on your terms. You know, you keep the ball off the Kiwis. You know, it takes away the biggest threat, which is obviously them keeping the ball alive and throwing the ball around. So, yeah, great start to the game. Just, you know, we've just got to keep going with this now. We're in a good rhythm. We've just got to keep going with what we're doing at the moment, and you know, we'll be all right.
Thanks for your time, Stefan.
Thank you.
I'm sure we'll be seeing Stefan down the line as well on the field in this series. That's Tom Burgess. He's wearing 15 because originally he was named as one of the interchange players, but promoted to a starting prop, which is position he's used to taking at Souths. I think all 27 games this year he's started. Tompkins again, Williams. Oh, and that's an angled run from Whitehead, but matched by 3 defenders. Here's Hodgson. 15 away. Graham. He's got that capability of taking it into line. And Lachlan now looking for the big kick. He's put it too far. He was looking at the big pass, and then he saw that McGilvray was clear, so fancied he might be able to chip it his way, but clearly he couldn't.
The right idea, poor execution. He obviously saw the line and jumped upstream from him. Easton Masters just there, just got a little bit too ahead of himself. He saw the space, but poor execution on the kick.
Yeah, I don't think he had the angle there. Nicarima was in the line of his kick.
Let's get in, please.
Good vision, though.
Line here, please. Jesse,
interesting
here,
line by Elliot
here, please.
Whitehead on a previous play, keeping the inside defence honest.
Oh, Cody, stay there, Oliver.
Nicarima will stick the ball in the pack. Smith will bring it out the back, and New Zealand start again. So 10 minutes played, just over. England with that electrifying score from Sam Tompkins in the third. Only score so far. Here's Warrior Hargreaves. Smith. A little bit of footwork going on here, but England's defenders have got their man. And they've held on to their man too long. Penalty.
Well, he's consistent. Second penalty of the game. Same infringement. Now we'll give New Zealand great attacking platform.
Wayne Bennett won't be happy with that. Obviously, a kick that probably shouldn't have been put to boot, and then compounded again by giving away a penalty on the back end of the set.
He's a quiet, watchful crowd, isn't it? You know, if this was a domestic game, it would be an uproar at the moment. The crowd are being fine, chanting voice, but at the moment they're watchful and just looking on quietly as New Zealand begin to build here a little. Bromwich, Jesse Bromwich, Smith out of dummy half. Now it comes back to Johnson with the inside ball. Oh, that's delicious. Absolutely delicious. Masters on the end of it. Wonderful opening of that England defence. Their lock unpicked, and New Zealand have a response.
Now, this is one of the advantages of having that game against Australia 2 weeks ago. You get an extra 2 weeks with time on the ball. That was definitely a set play. They took the ball to the 30-metre mark, which is what they call it in rugby league, where they split the field into 100%. It's the 30% mark, and then they had numbers and movement. Easton Masters come from the blind side. He tracked Sean Johnson around, their players going all the way through inside ball, and obviously it was left as a try.
That was the original penalty.
Yeah, it's a great clear of the ball. Just watch him. Nicarima straightens up, inside ball. What a beautiful try. Just watch the halfbacks work here. One will straighten up, hold the defender, the other will go on a loop on a dummy runner, and exactly where that dummy runner has gone, this guy will follow him. Beautifully worked try.
And it wasn't a lucky try either. It was a set play. Issa Masters, he knew exactly what he was doing. He was trailing him behind, waiting for the lead runner to hold the defender in, get the ball out to Sean Johnson from Cody Nicarima, who just held and wiped him in. Inside ball with the post.
It's very difficult. He's a kind of the blindside centre. He tracks across, comes on the inside. It's very difficult for his opposite centre to follow him all the way. You've just got to number up and get the numbers right. But a beautifully worked try.
It's one of the problems that you have when you're defending against Sean Johnson. You want to be in front of him. As opposed to that, you probably, Whitehead probably left his inside defender too early.
So here's Johnson looking to add the 2 and square things up again here. He's drilled it towards the target, and he's certainly found that target. So 6 points apiece with 13 minutes played, and I think the evidence early on in this match is we're going to see plenty of tries, I think, in this series.
Well, there's a lot of talented players out there, and hopefully we will see a lot of tries. Just watch, Hargreaves goes through, beautifully worked try. He just stands him up, Nicarima, straightens him up. Lovely try.
So Tompkins with the restart. Captain quickly in position to take that, and they find themselves about 12 away from their own line here, do New Zealand. Liu. Brandon Smith. Straightened up here by Jesse Bromwich. Brandon Smith, the dummy half, he's been understudy to arguably the greatest hooker of his generation, possibly of all time, in Cameron Smith at Melbourne this last couple of years, so he's been learning a trick or two, no doubt.
And that's a great set from New Zealand. Last play, they got over the 50-metre mark, and they'll be putting another high ball, get that defensive line down there.
Makinson underneath. Oh, he just seems to lose the flight a little at the last there, but does well to patch it, but he's being carried towards his own in-goal area, tries to offload, and Rapana will touch it down and claim a try. Well, this is a gift, if it is a try. He says it is on the field, but they're going for the video replay here.
Yes, ideally, I need the kick, so I do need the kick first.
Let's hear from the video referee then.
So the live call we have is a try. We need to pause it on that. He is behind the ball, so he's okay. The players to the left-hand side are all right, but they don't get involved with play. So I'm happy with the onside, offside. Okay. I need a tight angle on that if we can. So the ball is offloaded. So that is an offload. Right, is there a knock-on there by New Zealand? Just go back there. Do we have a knock-on by New Zealand? There. Keep going. Keep going. And does that touch? Yes, it does. That touches. Jog that one back, please, that angle. The England player's hand is above the ball. So the Australian man's hand with the black armband underneath, that is then on the ball, so that there goes forward. Just keep that going on, please. Right, so that goes forward off New Zealand. And it hits the ground. I don't need to see any more. It's going to be no try, and it's going to be a scrum down to England on the 10.
Well, I think they all knew that because they stood there waiting for the decision. So, but let me tell you, Tommy Makinson is a very lucky man. But I thought he was getting carried over the trial and Indian goal, and for some unknown reason, he tried to offload. So he's a very lucky man.
Well, look, it was a known reason. He was trying to get the offload so he didn't get the back-to-back set to the opposition. But as you know, Jeffy, it is a very high-risk play, and I'm not sure Wayne Bennett will be too happy with that.
Well, it's interesting though, the reaction from the crowd. There was a kind of a surprised relief, wasn't there, from the mainly England crowd in here. But as you said, Jonathan, all the Kiwis were ready to pack down for a scrum. I think they'd seen the replay and they'd come to the same conclusion that it was a knock-on.
Yeah, I think Ben Saylor, very comprehensive in his word-by-word description of events.
So
maybe slightly condensed will be very helpful for the atmosphere.
Here's the feed by Williams, and McGillivray will bring it on. Absolutely monstered so many of those World Cup defenders 12 months ago. Here's Burgess, Tom Burgess. Oh, it's another penalty here for England.
Now, New Zealand have slightly upped their tempo on their defence. They've shown a lot more energy in that space, but when you do that, sometimes you can get a little bit overzealous and give away penalties, and that's what we've seen just then.
Tap restart. Here comes Whitehead, man of the match in that Denver test was Elliot Whitehead. Forget the other tests which are coming up in the next couple of weeks, and that Red Button Forum which follows this programme as well. That's a crash-bang effort from Luke Thompson, who's made an instant impact having come on from the bench, and Williams dabs it through, and there's a bit of work to do here for Watin Zelezniak, and he could do nothing more than concede that dropout because of the quality and the weight of the kick from Williams. It's all getting a little heated here.
That's a great kick by Williams. You know, slippery surface, very difficult to take.
Smart play. This just builds energy. It takes energy out of the opposition, and it gives energy to yourself. All the players pouring through. Everybody knew what was going on there. It's statistically a great play to do. A lot of space in the background as well. Little Jake Connor just give him a little cuddle around the head there. He's got that in his game, has Jake. Gets under the skin of the opposition players, and you know what, that plays its part in these games as well. So, you know, it's part of Jake Connor's game, and he does it extremely well. He's actually one of the best proponents of it in the game.
15 minutes in, this is your chance, because I ain't.
And those two guys just getting told off by Robert Hicks there.
Yeah, he's do two captains, wasn't he? Just telling him how he expects the teams
It's your
to
chance,
behave.
mate.
Sean O'Loughlin has gone
It's
off.
your chance.
I think it's a straight shot between him and Luke Thompson.
When you're ready.
Sean Johnson
Time back on.
will take this clearing drop out from his own line. Sam Tompkins underneath it. James Graham puts his hand up to carry it back first of all, and it was a little high. Test match football, referee says play on.
I have to say he's been borderline on a few shots.
Here's
Number
Bateman.
10, Maria Hargreaves. He's got to be very, very careful.
Hodgson, eventually, Graham picks up, carries it in again for the second time here. Appetite for all the work in the world, James Graham. Hodgson waits again, Tompkins stands to the left-hand side. Here he comes now, puts it back to Williams, who's going to test with a run. That's his game. Hodgson again, they're numbered on the blind side. Hodgson tries to twist himself, there's the fifth, they're on to the last here. Williams, Tompkins, kick towards McGillivray. It's an easy catch, but they're waiting for him. The offload was snatched, I think, by Fisher Harris down there. New Zealand have it back.
I think that ball needed to go to the air then. They needed to get a few more numbers underneath the ball and make it a little more of a contest.
So just trying to smash their way into position again here.
He runs it back so well.
Well, I was going to say, for a
Watin
full back.
Zelezniak, yeah, he does run his weight, doesn't he?
Yeah.
I mean, New Zealand's entire back three, they're all built like second rows.
Yeah, they are.
Here's Bromwich. And Smith goes left. And here's Masters. He's trying to pull himself out of the tattle from Bateman, but they're on the sixth here, New Zealand, the next. So, and again, it'll be aerial, you suspect, at some point, although Johnston is just tantalising that England line with that running style of him. Manu with a quick offload, and here's Rapinoe with a kick, and Lomax does have it covered, and he'll be going low and hard to stay in the field of play.
Yeah, great kick once again.
And they do that if you don't get up on Sean Johnson, if you don't commit to him on your defensive line, he has that ability to skip across the line.
That's a good quick play the ball from Makinson, and England looking forward again here. McGillivray. He's a neutral's dream, isn't he, that fella? Sean Johnson.
Great player.
Whether you're dressed in white or black today, you can only admire his skills sometimes. Hodgson. Here's Thompson. Look, Thompson again. What a season he's had for St Helens. And he's inside New Zealand's half. Tompkins puts it high. Martin Zalesnak will fancy himself as hot favourite to take it clean, and he does. But there's a wall of white ahead, so his advance is limited.
That was an incredible set by England. They picked that ball up 2 metres from their own try line, and they started their defensive set on the 10-metre line. Great attacking set.
And Brandon Smith, he's heavily strapped up, isn't he, Brandon Smith, the 22-year-old? One of the many new young faces in this Kiwi lineup. Here's one of the old familiar ones, Ray Hargreaves, on the day of his 26th cap today. New Zealand looking for a bit of width. Proctor, hammered down. 5 inside the England half with 1 play to go. So where do they go? Johnson this time kicks it. McGillivray underneath it, steadies himself. He can hear the hooves thundering towards him. He's caught it well enough, and he evades Masters. And I think everybody got hurt there, tacklers and attackers.
It's certainly warming up now because there's a bit going on between Masters and McGillivray earlier on, and I think he lined him up.
Here's Lomax. And now Hodgson waits a dummy half and delivers again, and England with Makinson. Kiwis keeping warm on a chilly day, although it has to be said the last game they played against Australia, by all accounts in Auckland, that was very, very cold, so they're acclimatised for this, and England beginning to move left. Connor. Proctor did just enough to stop him and hold him up.
Yeah, created overlap there, but a great read by Rapana.
Oh, that's a shocker from Hodgson. That's an awful kick, but Bateman collects it. Here's Tompkins and a little dribble kick. They're trying all kinds of kicks from McGillivray today, and he'll use his fancy footwork to put it back on the inside. Tompkins, and he hits it at Watini Zalesnak, and out it goes. But the concern here is for what happened after McGillivray kicked it away. Well, the referee says nothing much. Get on with it. It's a handover for New Zealand.
I just think Sam Tompkins there was trying to see whether or not Kemamalo takes
There's nothing
McGillivray out.
There's nothing in that.
Down to one man's interpretation, that's a referee. He thought he turned into, to chase the ball, so not interested, play on. Could have gone either way.
Enjoyed a game, as it says on his back. Jermaine McGillivray, got a bit of fancy footwork about him, didn't he? He did play at a very reasonable level in football, didn't he, in soccer. And I think his young lad, his young son, is on Manchester City's books at the moment.
I think he actually had a bit of a background in basketball as well.
Yeah.
Jack of all trades. Master of rugby league.
New Zealand looking to plough it away. Tackles her. Right, let's hear from a familiar voice. We love this fella, Daryl Halligan. He's downstairs with Tanya.
Daryl, you're part of the coaching staff here. Now, are you watching this in a slightly different light than you normally do?
Oh, certainly. This game's really, really high quality. 20 minutes in, and it's just starting to open up now. Hugely dominated by the last play options, in particular kicking game, as we see there. Sean Johnson and Nikarima getting to their work, and also with England, actually been quite impressed with the kicking game of Tompkins so far. So this will be a beauty, this one.
Enjoy.
Thank you.
Six tackle, we're all enjoying. Here's Johnson, back it comes to Nikarima. Nikarima takes it on, ball in hand, and now it's with the fella who can do magic with his hands, Manu, who slips it away, and Rapana is still taking it on, and they're going to go to ground on the 6. But the Kiwis have got such potency in that final third of the field.
Yeah, I think that's where they've got the slight edge. It's the pace of the half-backs. They get on the outside of the defenders and try and create that extra man. England are doing okay at the moment, but they look very dangerous.
It's one of those things for England. They can't switch off at any time and think, well, they're just going to kick the ball, because with Nikarima and Sean Johnson, they're likely to run at any time.
Here's Thompson. You know where he's going. It's a question of, can you stop him? He offers that physical threat every time he has ball in hand. Tompkins to Bateman, who's let it slip, and it's picked up by Mamalo. Danger here for England's defence, but there's the recovery. But it's a set that England have to defend. Only 10 from their own line is where they stand, and 6 to go from here. Over the head of Proctor, into the hands of Manu. Watch him for the offload. Can't do this time. Here's Rapana. Proctor collects and delivers. Taken in by Tapau.
He's not going to pass.
Smith at dummy half. Now it's with Johnson, back on the inside to Fisher-Harris. He offloads again. Tapau once more, tries to size them up. He's got ball in hand, so many options. Gets it away this time to Smith, and Smith dances around on the spot, but right in front of James Graham, who gathers it in, and with the help of three others, just about, he's a strong one, isn't he? The young hooker, Rapana, waits. Out left, it's a bounce into the hands of Johnson. Look at the numbers here. Now it's with Masters, but England are getting across there. Make the defensive play a good one. An offload from Liu doesn't stick, and England have it back again. I tell you what, they'll be happy to survive that.
I think they will be. There was a couple of times New Zealand had just punched holes in the England defence, just got in behind the England defence, and England was scrambling. And that come off the back of their own, own poor play. And Wayne Bennett will be really, really upset with that. It's all about a numbers game when you're coming out of your own half. There were a couple of opportunities New Zealand had, they just weren't able to capitalise it. The whole set was a bit scrappy throughout those sort of 5 plays. So I think New Zealand will be very disappointed with their setup and their execution as well.
I understand why England went wide. They've done exceptionally well in clearing in their own 20-metre area. The forwards are doing a good job. It's a good kicking game at the moment, as Daryl Halligan said. No need for it. International rugby is all about patience, completing your sets, getting a good kicking game in, and waiting for the opportunities to come in the right areas or a forced error. But Sean Johnson said there, just calm down, calm. They pushed the passes in that last set as well.
Thompson. Hodgson. He now is Hill, who again was the 8 on his back. He's just appeared from the interchange bench and initially selected to start, but on the bench, Hodgson to Tompkins. Here's Williams, and again just really taking them on with that running game. A couple of times now he's just challenged the Kiwis with a dash and a dart. The kick smothered by Rapana. Martini Zelezniak, but he's grabbed a hold of and put down by George Burgess, who's now on the field.
What I've seen in this opening 25 minutes, though, I don't think England need to push the passes. No. I think they're getting so much yardage and ease of use just by running big runs in behind the acting half. They should just stick to that as a game plan, because it's working for them. They're charging New Zealand up the field, and it's starting to tire New Zealand's bigger men out.
It's Mormado. It's looking at a smash down the middle in the shape of Tapau.
Good defensive set by England.
Yep, they're already on the last here, but Johnson, look again at this. There's just so much nervousness in the English defence, but the ball's been spilled and picked up by Williams, but not allowed to get away. On the halfway line, and a penalty because there was too much going on for too long.
And again, Zelezniak says, just calm down a little bit.
Leeson Armour has come on for New Zealand as well. Jared Warrea-Hargraves, the man who's gone off.
He's got a penalty.
Well, a chance here for England because they can start a set, all things being equal, inside the New Zealand half. They should be resulting in an attacking couple of plays, shouldn't it?
Yeah, I don't think Dallin Watini Zelezniak was too unhappy about giving away that penalty. I think he wanted to bring the game back to 0 because everything was becoming a bit fractious at that point in time. So I think they just wanted to compose himself, get the defensive line back together and see what England has to throw at them.
Great attacking opportunity though.
George Burgess, what's going on the floor here? There's a proper wrestle going on. The referee, I think I was six of one and a half a dozen of the other, and said, look, get up, get on with it. Hodgson again, still not happy, still not happy. Well, they used to give a penalty for not playing off the mark.
George was squirming his way forward.
Here's Hodgson. Thompson with a step. Big shoulder went right into his hips there. Now it comes to Hill, who had one of his best games for England in that World Cup final. And the offload, Hodgson's not watching. Oh, Well, you come up with an offload like that as a prop forward, and when your hooker's not watching, you are furious because he's given the ball away.
Well, he's just been having a go at the referee, and then he's just switched off to organise the next play. Ball's just bouncing around him.
Here's Watini Zalesniak again. Hudson's got a bit of work to do for his teammates here.
Move now, Josh. Hold. Go.
Brandon Smith. Offside, England's defence, or was it not square? Don't look behind you, Josh. It's behind you now.
Dangerous times here for England. I think Cody Nikarima, for me, when he's taken the ball to the line for New Zealand, he's looked really threatening. It's tying in the defence, and I think that's what they're going to be looking to set up on this next play.
So here's Brandon Smith, 5 tackles here for New Zealand. 30 away from that England line. Oh, it's a big hit coming in from Luke Thompson, but New Zealand are able to keep it alive and play on. Johnson, here comes Armau. Leeson Armau pushing. 4 tackles to go, and England going backwards here. New Zealand offering a serious threat again. Proctor bounces away off Williams. Smith moves in at dummy half. Johnson just skipping it up and keeping it alive, and England's defence being kept honest here. Knock on, yep, knock on. You could hear the cry from the England players, and the referee spotted that as well. So a big mistake from New Zealand.
I think there was one poor pass then from the play of the ball that just checked the whole movement. The ball went behind Johnson, and from that he went back inside. He just dropped the ball. He's going to play it.
Yeah, you got to do better than that. I think that was lucky for England as well, because New Zealand rugby, they had numbers on their left-hand side all set up. Jordan Rapana had come from the open side to the blind side also, and the England defenders were screaming. McGilvery was screaming to get defenders over to him, and obviously we saw what happened. The play was just a knock-on, so get out of jail free card played.
Bit of patching up to do. John Bateman.
Yeah, well, just get on with it.
On his way to Canberra next year. There's going to be quite an English contingent at Canberra, isn't there? Whitehead and Hodgson already there.
He's been sent off the field. He's got too much blood on his shirt.
Don't forget the Red Button Forum online as well. Hashtag BBCRL if you want to get in touch on the social media platforms. And we're back for the second test a week tomorrow, 2 p.m. at Anfield. Third test a week after that at Ellen Road. And here's McGilvray looking to carry it forward.
Those runs are just so important for England. And they get you
knock on. New Zealand back in the box seats. England mistake.
They made a few errors now that have compounded the pressure they put on themselves. And again, same as the last, that definitely loses the ball there.
Commentators curse on just picking him up, and look what happens. The ball's knocked on, puts his team back under pressure. New Zealand will be, they'll be disappointed that they gave the ball up so easily on the last set. So they'll definitely be looking to complete this set and set up some strong attacking plays.
Wayne Bennett looking on. Oscar nominee Jamie Peacock alongside him. As New Zealand have 6 tackles here in the closing 10 minutes of this first half, and through goes Watini Zalesniak, the young skipper, like a hot knife through English butter.
That is,
New Zealand have their second.
That is all about pace. Just watch Nikarima. He takes the line on, he gets on the outside of his man, and what a brilliant run by Zalesniak. Watini Zalesniak, that's just too simple really, too quick. It's very, very simple from the scrum on the first tackle. I think he identifies who's got in front of him. There's the mistake that gives them the scrum. But just watch from this, there he is. The ball comes out, he goes straight at the second rower in front of him. He realises he's there, he goes on, he stands him up, gets on the outside, beautiful pass, try.
And that's what happens. John Bateman just plants his feet a little bit. That means Sam Tompkins has to check and it's all about inches, isn't it, Jeffy? All he does is just turns that left shoulder just inside. You just see it just on side here. That's all it is. And then Zelezniak all the way through.
He's done him,
world
isn't
of space.
He's done Bateman. Tompkins has got to step in. Zelezniak reads it. It's a simple try for the fullback, all created by the halfback.
And we're just talking about Cody Nikodima as he's taking the ball to the line. He's causing the England defence a lot of problems. They are playing towards England's right-hand side, but I don't know whether or not that's part of their game plan, or they're feeling in the game that they're getting some advantage there, but they're starting to really overplay on New Zealand's left-hand side, England's right-hand side.
So Sean Johnson with a tough one from the sidelines, but he's more than capable. And that's pretty picture perfect, isn't it, in terms of where he wanted it to go and where it did go. 6 points for England, but it's now 12 for this resurgent New Zealand.
And there we see it again. Once again, Cody Nikodima, just a little stutter step. That's all it took. He just leapt into the air, little stutter step. Sam Tompkins had to check and wait for him. Dylan Watini and Zelezniak straight through the gap.
7.5 minutes and a half remaining. It started so brightly from England's point of view with that Tompkins try with barely 3 minutes played. And since then it is New Zealand who have taken what chances have been on offer. And a lot of mistakes from England in that first half.
Yeah, a lot of mistakes, and I think they've deviated away from their plan. They don't need to just go wide at the moment, but they look far more dangerous out wide than the Kiwis do.
Isaac Liu to his feet. Brandon Smith out of dummy half. Looks to his right-hand side, and Mao is there to carry it on. Another stride or two. Deeper inside English territory. Last play. Cheeky little chip by Johnson. That's a tester, but it's Makinson who hangs on and gets the turnover.
That's a brilliant set by the Kiwis, but what defensive work by England as well. Rapana was up there and I thought he'd won it. Brilliant take.
And the argument actually, what England are not doing at the moment, and have not done over the last 10 minutes, is put kick pressure on Sean Johnson. It's not coming from the inside. If it comes from the outside, danger times for England's defence, but it's got to come from the inside. Great offload by Whitehead.
He's quietly having a really good game here today, isn't he, Elliot Whitehead? Tompkins. Always a bit of a gap ahead of him, but it's scramble across. And now Lomax. He's taken high. He's just moving the legs, but obviously feeling the hit.
He hasn't been involved in the game yet, does he, attacking wise, and the first time he comes in, he cops one.
It doesn't look too bad. Looks like a bit of a grab. It's definitely high. Yeah, I guess I'm not the person stood down there, just had a forearm across the nose.
Yeah, it's
doesn't look too bad.
I think he's lucky.
What I meant, it wasn't an old school swinging arm, it was a reach.
Yeah.
Let's just say Robbie's not here for his neutrality here today. He's very much the Kiwi voice. That was high.
I think
it was definitely high. He didn't miss.
He's lucky not to be on the bench with a yellow card there. That should be a yellow card.
To be honest, I think Rob Hicks will probably be still thinking about it, still having a look at it. I think he's just chatting to his linesman at the moment.
Is he all right?
Just making sure that Johnny's okay.
He's probably going to have to go for an HIA here.
Where am I?
Yeah, pat to the head. Pat to the head. He looks a little confused, doesn't he? And the physios, they don't take any chances now, the medical folk.
I think he's confused.
And here we go. Essen Masters is getting a talking to.
Listen, mate, every time I come to bring you out, you have a chip before I speak. When I call you out, I will speak and then I'll listen to what you have to say. Because if you listen to what I've got to say, you'll find I'm just giving a penalty. You've got to get them downstairs. We don't want any more of them. Please don't come at me like that before I speak.
Can I say something?
Yes.
It's international football.
Yes, mate, I agree.
We're playing a tough game.
And I agree. Thank you.
I think Robert Hicks has just assumed the nickname of No-Nonsense Hicks.
I tell you what, he gave it back though, so Lesniak, you know, he made his point as well, I felt.
There's only ever one winner in those kind of conversations.
It's only one whistle, that's why.
Yeah.
But that's,
anyway,
that's why the head assessment came in, I think. Lomax said, "Watch, there's nothing wrong with me. Go off and check it." And that's why he's come in.
Here's George Burgess. Held up, put down. 4 tackles still to go here. Hodgson. Hill. Hodgson again. Tompkins to Whitehead, rather to Makinson, who's over on that right-hand side. McGilvray, 10 away. England with a chance here to achieve parity before the break, maybe. Oh, it's a potential intercept. It hadn't got a touch. The referee says play on. Connor.
So if he'd have gone for the intercept there, he was through.
So the last play, Hodgson. Oh, again, it's a poor kick. It's a poor kick, and it's an easy one.
Yeah, again.
Easy one for Marmalo.
Yeah, he's got to get Tompkins in there. The kick was too flat. His on-runners were never going to get to it. That's a poor finish because they've got to build pressure now, because at the moment, I can't see that creativity by England, and the only way they'll score, it looks like it's from a kick. So the kick has got to be precise.
And I think this is one of the advantages New Zealand has had by the squad being together a little bit longer. They look more like the finished article. This England squad really has only had 1 week to come together and put their combinations together. But yes, I'm with you, Jiffy. That's basic international rugby league we're talking about there. You've got to finish your sets strong, and you've got to finish it with the right person kicking the ball.
So New Zealand edge towards are halfway again, but they're on the last. So the kick, although you never know. Johnson, here he comes again. Here's Fisher-Harris. They are running it all the time, just really testing the defence here. Manu with the offload. There was a touch there by Hodgson, not a knock-on. There's a claim, but he got fingertips to it. But the referee, the touch judge, was very close. Gildart.
I think Connor's got to be very careful how he's defending. You know, he's defending by turning his right-hand shoulder towards the touchline. With somebody like, you know, the players marking Manu, he is going to step and come on the inside.
One of the advantages in New Zealand, we've been playing towards the left-hand side of the field, away from his side. I'm sure come the second half, they're going to start having a look down Connor's side.
Williams again, he's having a go, just having a look at the line and just having a little scoot and a scamper. Whitehead picks up, Hodgson carries it on, back to Tompkins, and Tompkins at back, and they're all joining in here. Bateman now, back in his familiar centres role for the moment. He's down. Thompson at dummy half, 6 tackle. Sam Tompkins puts the kick, should be easy for the fullback again. It is, unchallenged, he'll catch that and step away, but hunted down by Makinson, who got in there and made sure.
You've got to put those kicks high in the air, hang time, so someone goes for it, like the Makinson catch on the first try.
There's a marked difference between New Zealand's kicks and England's kicks, and one of the differences, New Zealand Rugby League are putting more pressure on the England kickers. And I think that's what England needs to do in response.
Nicholson's at fullback at the moment in the absence of Lomax. To Power with a pass, a little burst again here, and a threat that Fisher-Harris eventually gathered in and pulled down, but again they're on the last. And again they're running it, just having a look at this England defence. Whitehead with the catch, looking for the offload, decides to keep a hold.
And that's one of the disadvantages when you do look to run the ball. If you don't get that edge on the opposition, you're going to come up with a poor kick. That was a poor kick for New Zealand. Great position for England to start their set.
Graham.
Three together now.
Hodgson
Back here.
stands and waits.
Go straight out, 14.
Here he comes. Little dart and a dash. But they're ready, and down he goes. So Williams. Hill. Tompkins. This is looking livelier now. Bateman cuts in from that right-hand side. Passes away to Whitehead. His quick hands find Williams, and Williams now to Connor. Connor carries! And Jay Connor on home soil might just be over. but the Kiwis have got defensive smiles on their faces. I think Johnson reckons he's been held up, the referee reckons he's got it down. So it's a big call here again from the video referee. Let's hear once more from Ben Thaler.
Okay, so we've got a live call of a try. The ball is still in his possession. I want to go back to that incident as number 1 comes into the tackle. Can we just go back, please? Right. Right, can we just jog this on now? Slowly. Right, his arms are up. There is a knee there. His arms are still not on touch him. Right, I want to see if the ball is grounded, first of all. Okay, right, I need the ball. So the ball's in his possession. Still in his possession. Still in his possession. Right. Does that ball end up going and getting down? Does he get the ball down? Keep it going, keep it going, keep it going, keep it down. Right. Keep that going. Right. I need another slow-mo on that to see if the ball actually does touch the ground first of all. I do have another decision to make if that ball hasn't hit the ground. So that angle's probably best slowed down. Right, it's the other angle. Okay, the ball is still in his possession. Now that is a foul, first of all, by the New Zealand number 1. Okay, now jog this on. Does the ball hit the ground? The ball is up there. I can clearly see it's up there. It's still up. It's still up. It's still up. Right, I've got a decision, Robert. Because there is a foul, I'm giving a penalty try. If the ball doesn't get grounded, so it's a penalty try under the post.
Well, here we go, penalty try. So Ben Thaler clearly absolutely certain that Jake Connor would have scored that had Watini Zalesniak not slid into him with the knees. So it's a penalty try. Well, a little shake of the head from... Little shake of the head from Michael Maguire.
He's got to cool down here now. The young captain, Watini Zalesniak, has got to calm down.
You've got to get your hands on first. Yes. I can't hit the plan. No, it's irrelevant, mate. You hit it with the knees. That's the decision. I disagree with you. Mate, I disagree with you. Your hands aren't down first, yes. Hands must be on first.
It's not a lesson. It's not a rugby.
I'm not having a debate. It's a try. Let's go. James.
I think he's unlucky there. I do think he's unlucky.
I was about to say, what an absolutely brilliant try-saving tackle by Watini Zalesniak and Sean Johnson.
It is what it is, and you know, he saw it right. Ben Thaler, I think he's.
But look, there is a rule. If the knees, if any part of the leg hit the head in the act of scoring a try, then referees really do go down hard upon that.
Well, Connor sticks it over. It started and finished well from England's point of view. There were some scruffy moments in between, and 2 flashy tries for the Kiwis as well. It's 12 points apiece at half-time. I wonder what Sam Tompkins has made all of that in the first half. He's down there with Tanya.
Let's go down pitch side. Jamie Peacock is with Tanya.
Jamie, what was the talk in the dressing room at half-time?
Yeah, just keep doing what we've been doing. I think we've had a couple of errors coming out of our own half, and you can't do that against a good side. The tries we've given away have been a bit soft, but overall I think it's been a great performance, and that's it. They just want more of the same. If we have more of the same, we'll win the game.
Are you conscious of the damage that New Zealand are doing on the edges, that you've got to contain that?
Yeah, we have, yeah. You know, they've got some great runners of the ball on an athletic side, and you've got to be good and make your tackles. You make your tackles, they don't score.
Thanks, Jamie.
Cheers. Back to Dave Woods.
And back to Sam Tompkins, who's about to get us underway for this second half. At least when the referee's happy. So 12-12, everything to play for in the next 40 minutes. Robbie Hunter-Paul's headphones are falling apart. Our fingers are falling apart because it is so cold up here at the moment. But down on the field, they're okay, I'm sure. Here we go. Referee blows his whistle, and Tompkins puts the boot to ball. It'll be New Zealand who have first touch in this second half. So we've heard from the chaps in the studio at half-time. What about the chaps up here? We heard a bit from Robbie, but Jonathan, what are you expecting of this second period now? What do England have to do? What do New Zealand have to do?
I think more of the same, England. Not, try and throw the ball too wide too early, finish your sets and play in the right areas. I'm sure, they can conjure something up with their big forwards, but they need to put more pressure on New Zealand in their own 20. New Zealand have got a bit more composure in attack. They look threatening, the half-backs look very creative. So, at the moment, it's still anyone's game, and I hope a little bit of magic will win it rather than a mistake.
Yeah. Or a referee's decision. Here comes Johnson with the kick. And it's taken well enough by Makinson. Not having a go at the referees, I'm just saying I hope it's not a decision that the referee has to judge on and all the rest of it. Here comes Lomax to try and bring it out. Robbie, what are you hoping for from a Kiwi point of view?
Well, I think New Zealand want to do a lot more of what they were doing in the first half. Pretty much what Jamie Peacock was saying, but I think when they get into good ball, they need to be a little bit more composed. They need to set up their plays, especially like what they did with the SM Masters try. Let it come out of the playbook and not be so organic. I'm liking everything I'm seeing from Cody Nikodima at the moment. He's got to take the line on.
George Burgess with a play. Here comes Bateman to take it in again. He's always a confrontational character in the best way possible, isn't he, John Bateman? And on the halfway line, England will kick on the last off the boot of Tompkins. And New Zealand to bring it back, so I think we can go downstairs and hear from Tanya, who's with Daryl Harrigan. There he is. Daryl, Tanya.
I am indeed. Daryl, what was the talk in the dressing room for you guys?
It's pretty basic. Coach Maguire wanted basically a replay of what happened in the first 20 minutes in this match, where we saw a lot of kicks from Shaun Johnson go close to your own goal area, tackle pressure on 1 and 2, had you going backwards. If they can sort of get excited about repeating that for the next 40 minutes, then they'll go a long way to winning the game. Their last 20 minutes wasn't their best.
What did you make of the penalty try?
I actually thought it was a try. The ball actually touched the ground. But we cost ourselves that try. I mean, the last two sets of the first half, with a minute and a half to go, we gave England the ball back. So
here's Johnson with a little kick to that in-goal area, and Lomax will pick it up. Sorry, Darryl. He was all getting excited there for a moment. Interesting there that we heard from Daryl Harrigan saying that he thought it was a try.
Clearly wasn't.
The referee disagreed.
Here's Thompson. Hodgson. It's McGilvray. Hill. Great footwork in the line there from Hill. Terrific work from Hill there. And the big fella just earned himself the right to offload. Hodgson. Sixth tackle coming up, so Tompkins again just puts boots to ball. New Zealand back three are back there. Rapana will bring it back towards the 40-metre mark. New Zealand looking to advance from here. Really not everybody behind to play the ball. The early stages of this second half. Mamalo. Kenny Bromwich on the field. And the number 14 shirt operating out of dummy half at the moment. Tapau. Held up. Palmau. Here's Kenny Bromwich again, fifth. And the referee's arm in the air to say the next is the last, so up it goes from Nikorima, and it comes wide to Mamalo, who's allowed to catch it because England reckon they can do a job on him, and they do, which has forced the handover back in England's favour. Quite
interesting there. Ken Mamalo knew it was the last play, but didn't try to chuck the ball innately. Look, they're 4 metres off the England line, and that's a good defensive place to start your set defensively. And I think that's New Zealand trying to go back into that attritional style of rugby league, putting pressure on England and hoping they come up with error.
He's Makinson for England. the St Helens winger. Hodgson, Williams, Lomax, across the line it goes here. This is Whitehead who carries it dangerously. He's had a good game today, without being spectacular. He's had a really good game, and he gets a penalty because again he earned that. His speed back to his feet to play the ball. Kiwi man left in the rock. Outstanding stuff from the cameraman.
Yeah, great run there. Good fend, gets on the outside and keeps his legs pumping. Gets a good quick play of the ball, and there's New Zealand defenders floundering everywhere. Just on the outside, just watch him down, up. They get all messed up within his feet. The clear penalty. Good play.
So a penalty puts England inside New Zealand's half. Can they build from here? Thompson, like met like. Now it's Hill again. Just carries it forward forcibly. 4 tackles to go. 25 yards to cover. Hodgson, Tompkins. Here's Bateman.
Certainly targeting.
Oh, good offload, Bateman, and a step from Gildart, who tries to bowl it away. It was played out, the referee says, by Mamalo. So England get the ball back here. Scrum down.
And this is a great opportunity for England right now. They need to just take their time, set up some plays, and then build off the back of that pressure. New Zealand, on the flip side of that, they can't give away easy penalties. Joseph Manu just getting held up in the tackle there, allowing England into the half, and then the opportunities come for England. I think the England bench have made a big difference. I think Hill coming off the bench and his footwork has made a big difference, as well as Luke Thompson. They're absolutely running in behind the ruck, setting up some great plays.
So here comes Williams and shifts it left, and Whitehead again just takes it in. Proctor's there. Johnson was there. Fisher-Harris was there. Williams stands 10 away. It's Thompson who just tucks the arm underneath him and just tests the resolve of those Kiwi defenders again. In and hard. And now England again with a smash bang wallop type effort. George Burgess held up almost within touching distance. The referee allows them to get on with it. That's a poor pass out of dummy half. Picked up though by Gildart, who angles it back towards the middle and puts the big left foot step on, but so power grabs him round the hips and puts him down. This is Hill. Nobody with him. Now there is. Flick back to Hodgson. Hodgson to Burgess. George Burgess tries to shake off those defenders. 5 away. 5 tackles gone. Last play for England in this set. Tompkins with a kick. The defence moves up very quickly, snuffs out the danger, and New Zealand have it back again.
Yeah, for me that was a disappointing set. You know, it didn't create anything.
Penalty for New Zealand.
Yeah, given a penalty away, but you know, it didn't create anything. They were just one up, the forwards taking it up, and they didn't get anywhere. They were forced back, and there was no kind of option B.
So the penalty goes out, and New Zealand will have the tap restart all the way inside the England half. That was a heck of a kick.
That's what a penalty does. It just relieves all the pressure and turns the pressure on its head.
Here's Liu. Kenny Bromwich there at dummy half again, trying to drag English bodies away so that the play the ball can be as quick as possible. Nikorima to Johnson, and Proctor head down and sensing a chance of an offload, but takes the ball down with him. Johnson again inside for Fisher-Harris. Bromwich carries himself this time. Young Smith having a breather on the sidelines. Well, Bromwich takes over that role. Couple of plays to go. Johnson with a step. Johnson flailing arms, can't make a telling impact. Not this time. Hill gets a hole and pulls him down, and given a penalty. Oh, that's a shame.
That's 2 points.
It's one of those awkward things when you're tackling a halfback, someone that jumps about. You can never get a proper clean grip on them, and they squirm, and they have the ability of getting quick play the balls while you're still trying to dominate the tackle, and that can often happen where you end up just holding on just a little bit too long and gifting the opposition a penalty.
think he's just excited that he's got hold of
Finally.
Johnson, to be honest. The next thing, it's a soft penalty.
Well, you can see there what he's trying to do is trying to get up and get into position at marker. He knows that's his job. In the middle of the park, you've got to get into position at marker. Sean Johnson's beating him off the ground. He's quick, he's popped up, got the quick play the ball in, and he just tried to squeeze around in front of him, push him off. I'm sure Sean Johnson milked it a little bit. Penalty is given. There's a big difference though when New Zealand are getting to the back end of their sets, their last play, as you saw there, Sean Johnson's running the ball. The kick, the flip side of that, Sam Thompson gets the ball at a stood still and tries to make the kick up from that position. You need to be taking the ball on the front foot and attacking the line so the defensive line stands still.
England have made a double change here. There's been a switch in Burgeye. George has come off and Tom's back on. And James Graham has come off. James Graham has come on, and Chris Hill has gone off. And New Zealand with a penalty that makes 12 for England, 14 for New Zealand.
Well, the way they say that you can tell the difference between George and Tom is that George has got a bent nose and Tom's got a straight nose. But I think it's easy if you look at their boots.
Yep.
Tom's got white boots, George has got orange.
Oh, look at their numbers, Robbie.
Just tell them apart by looking at them, can't you? So New Zealand back in possession. They lead by 14 points to 12. Still nothing in it, or very little in it. Tapau.
It's a good run.
Reminder, by the way, that a little later today on BBC Online and Connected TV, you can watch the France-Wales game. The World Cup qualifier, the European Championship match. A little later, Scotland and Ireland playing today as well, and England's women, 3 England sides playing today. England's women against France.
Oh, great read, McGillivray there. Nicarima gets on the outside again.
And earlier today, well done to the England Knights, who beat Papua New Guinea in Papua New Guinea by 16 points to 12. There's the kick from Johnson. Dickinson is up and catches. Safe pair of hands.
Yeah, Connor did a good job there as well. Just got in front of the New Zealand winger.
And New Zealand are okay with that. What they're looking to do here is just build pressure from defence. And what they don't want to be doing is giving away penalties.
Raising his leg.
Those are coach killers. When you get a defensive set and you're starting 3 or 4 metres off the try line of the opposition and you give a penalty on that second tackle, coaches pull their hair out.
Here's Graham. Tackle 1 taking England towards the halfway line.
Move now! Hold me. Get square, hold. Go.
22nd international today, James Graham. Oh, that's a decent effort, taking England forward from Tom Burgess. Can they build on the back here? Thompson. Oh, his head snaps back as he hits the shoulder.
That's one each.
That was Tapau. Williams with a short pass. Whitehead held up, plenty on him, making sure he can't offload. Penalty.
On the floor.
Well, I thought Whitehead was worried there that he'd actually given a knock on against himself, but the referee decides there was a penalty there first.
Hooking a leg and dancing, that's what you did. You did it there and you did it here.
And it's a fine
You
line.
can't hook a leg,
In moments like that, it's a fine line how far you take the tackle. You feel like you've got dominance of the tackle there. You're controlling the player, and you just roll over that little bit further, and the ball pops out. That could have gone either way.
I won't speak to you again. No, you've told them. I've told you.
He's getting fed up with New Zealand captain. What's the name? It's the Lesniak.
I think we should make a podcast out of the conversation between the referee and Watini Zelezniak today. It's been entertaining, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, you can see Maguire was disappointed with that decision, but the one thing the referee has been is consistent in the tackle area. Any slowing down or infringing, he has penalised them. So you've got to adapt to the referee. Big kick. Big kick.
Well, this to make it all square again, and he seems to have got it okay. Yes, he has. Flags go up in confirmation, And it is all square again. 14 points apiece. 25 big minutes to go here. Could be a scary finish here. Keeps us all on the edge of our seats. Masters with a big restart. Burgess, Tom Burgess. Hodgson collects out a dummy half. Whitehead again, thundering it forward. Graham back on the inside here of Hodgson. He's the next man. Proctor sizes up. Thompson might be favourite for this one. Here he comes. All action and good hit, good carry. Oh, and he's knocked it on. He's knocked it on.
It's the back of a great carry.
Bobble in the tackle.
I tell you, he hits the ball so well, right on the gain line, and it's just great pace for the forward. He's very impressed with him this year.
It's out your grip, mate. It's out your grip.
He'll be disappointed with himself there.
Oh, that was harsh, wasn't it?
Oh, that is harsh. I don't think that is a knock-on. I think
in,
it was a big collision. He held on to it, and that's a tough call against the young prop.
So Nikarima with a feed, and out it comes, and here comes Mamala with a first effort inside that England half. Kenny Bromwich to the middle, in by Jesse Bromwich, big brother Jesse. Kenny. Now 3 gone, and they are inching closer and closer, the Kiwis here. Johnson and Warrea Hargreaves. 2 tackles to go. The wall of white is being pushed backwards and backwards. Nikarima, and an effort by Rapana. 6th tackle. Nikarima steps off the right foot and goes for the line, and then belatedly, as he saw the cul-de-sac closing ahead of him, tried to offload it, but has simply given it away, and England get away with that. It's a handover back in English hands.
Yeah, they closed him down well there. They put pressure on his right foot, forced him back onto his left foot, and his option was to run. But that's how dangerous he can be. Great defensive effort by Tompkins and Gildart, but you've got to watch him.
Graham, Williams snaps away from a couple of challenges, but not that one. Warrea Hargreaves roughing the tackle as he's allowed to be. Here comes Graham. Hodgson. McGilvray is in the middle here. He wants a bit of the action here to help his side get forward. Thompson gets out of that quickly. It's the last play. Williams is jabbing it towards the corner. Out it goes. New Zealand will get it back, but only 10 yards from their own line, so they're under a bit of pressure here. Let's go downstairs. Richie Myler, I think, is with Tanya.
He is indeed, Dave. What are you making of the second half so far, Richie?
It's been pretty good. I think they've done well with the ball control, completed the sets well, and just stayed in the arm wrestle really. That's what they talked about there in half-time, and hopefully they can keep doing that.
Is that the key at this level, to be patient?
Yeah, you can see there's not been many opportunities to score some points, so you have to be clinical when you get down there, and just I think we made a couple of errors inside the 20 which we want to try and iron out, and hopefully we can get over the try line a bit more.
Thanks for your time.
Cheers.
Sounds freezing, doesn't he? Shivering away there, Richie Myler. He's got the hat pulled down over his ears, but it's a cold day in Hull. First real cold day of the year. Kenny Bromwich twisting away. Nearly an hour played. Now they come left. Step back on the inside from Essen Masters.
3, John, straight out. Keep coming, Luke.
Kenny Bromwich. Jesse Bromwich helps it on. Warrea Hargreaves smashes in. Eking their way back inside the England half here. Couple of tackles to go. Jesse Bromwich squaring up, looking for the offload, got it away. New Zealand hands are good here, keeping it alive. Isaac Liu. So now they're on the last. What do? Run. That's been their style. Watini Zalesniak takes it in. Great pass away. Mamala kicks it back towards the middle. The referee says played out, penalty for offside. England. New Zealand get the advantage again.
Bit of a fortunate play for New Zealand there, because they were kind of ad-libbing it. Everything was going off the hips, so to speak. But you know, they did. When you've got players in motion, players in space, then those opportunities come your way.
Yeah, very unlucky there. You know, your instincts are just to go for the loose ball. He didn't really know who it came off Burgess.
He's kicking the goal here.
Well, it's that tight. It is that tight.
I think that's a great sign of respect towards the England defence there, that New Zealand are choosing to kick.
It's not an easy kick, though.
So a reminder of the Red Button Forum after we've finished. Again on the Red Button online, hashtag BBCRL. And as we mentioned earlier, second test live from Anfield on Sunday the 4th of November, and the third test live from Ellen Road, Leeds on Sunday the 11th. And the Rugby League European Championship today, there you go, today at 5 p.m. and that's France against Wales. Online Connect TV, you'll be able to watch the streaming of that game as well. So that'll be interesting. The French side and the French team both going, if they finish in the top two, whoever finish in the top two, Scotland and Ireland involved in that group as well, qualified by rights for the World Cup on these shores in 2021. Johnson with the kick to just edge his side again ahead. And he looks as though he's hit it well. Yes, he has. Again, the flags are up. And New Zealand again have the lead at 16-14.
Yeah, Shaun Johnson's definitely brought his kicking boots to this side of the world, but I tell you what, I don't think that that's going to be enough to win this game. I think both teams have try-scoring ability in their squad, but not only that, they're going to need to see a try to be scored to win this game.
Yeah, well, as you said, Rob, his respect, both defences are very, very solid. So, you know, with 20 minutes to go, I'd rather be 2 points in front.
Well, they have a history of tight encounters in recent years on these shores, these two. And the recent history tells you that on those occasions, New Zealand have edged it. Can England rewrite the script here today? But they're having to defend at the moment. Bromwich out of dummy half. Maria Hargreaves towards the halfway line. Back it comes to the middle, the big men down the middle. Jesse Bromwich again. But again, they're on the last. Here they go. Johnson, a rare kick from him rather than a run. Makinson underneath it, catches it well, but hunted down by Proctor. England start from there.
And that's a great set for New Zealand. They would, you know, 5 metres off the opposition's line. Once again, they'll just muscle up, they'll squeeze their line in and hope for England to make an error.
Where does that special moment come from England's point of view here?
Well,
who's got the star quality?
I think Lomax has got to inject himself into the game. Of course, you've got the halfbacks, Tompkins and John Williams.
Darryl Clark has just come onto the field. You're looking for X factor. Well, there's somebody that can spark the game.
There's a kick downfield, but it's easily fielded, and back it comes. Watini Zalesniak. We know how hard he hits when he runs, and there's no concern for personal safety as he hits that line hard. And New Zealand already stepping it up here. Mamala, 5 inside the England half.
I'm sure Dylan Watini Zalesniak thinks he's a front rower, the way he runs the ball.
He's got a step or something.
He's smart though when he does it. He picks out one of the smaller defenders and he just runs and makes a beeline directly for him. This is a player to watch out from England's point of view.
Smith.
Brandon Smith.
Yep, he's had time on the bench. He's freshened up.
Anywhere near the try line, you watch.
Great offload. Johnson, Magic Johnson again here. 10 away, has a look around, decides to go for the direct route. Jared Warea-Hargreaves.
Watch Brandon Smith here. Watch Brandon Smith.
He scored from dummy half against Australia. Not this time. He throws it high. Johnson again pokes it into the in-goal area. Has he overcooked it? Lomax is not going to take the risk and carries it out of play. Drop from underneath the sticks.
Lovely weight in the kick. Repeat set, building the pressure.
And that's what New Zealand want to do. They just want to get back-to-back sets, let their line tire out the English defence, and then start to build from that.
Well, inevitably, there's a player injured. Whenever a side has to drop out from underneath the sticks, you can always guarantee that someone goes down with treatment required, just to slow things down so that the defending team can get some oxygen back in their lungs.
It's a big set for England, this is. It's a repeat set. They've got to hold out here because of that penalty. Could take it to 2 scores.
Crowds come to life.
We need more of that, I think.
I think England need them at the moment.
The only lessons to learn from English Rugby League fans' point of view today is make some noise at Liverpool and Leeds. They've been very quiet here at Hull. Martini-Zelezniak fields. Maria Hargreaves leads the charge. Sean Johnson is the dummy half. 5 tackles to go. A second wave of attack coming England's way. Smith, Johnson, Nikarima, step back by Liu. Nikarima back to the middle and Johnson. Skip in the air by Kenny Bromwich. Smith. Proctor was to his right-hand side. There are many more numbers down the middle here, and it's a forward pass to Bromwich.
Certainly flat.
There's been a couple of these passes that have been a little bit close to the bone over the course of these 70 minutes that have gone.
I think the line's given away there, wasn't it? Because Johnson was standing just about on the line, and when Bromwich caught that, I think he was beyond the line, wasn't he? So
just a little bit upstream for Sean Johnson at that time.
Good call by the ref.
Finding.
14 minutes to go. A test match still to be won and lost.
Ball now.
The first of 3 between these 2 old rivals. McGilvray for England. Clark, who's got that zip from dummy half, given an opportunity. Whitehead, who's been impressive. McGilvray looking for a big carry. Here's Clark. Hudson still on the field. Bateman twisting away, but he's got it away. And here's a chance now. Suddenly the break is on. Gildart sizes up his man and goes round his man. What a try! What a debut try that is! Put that in the memory bank. Never forget that moment, Oliver Gildart. That was huge. A piece of English magic, and it's England who are back in the lead.
Jonathan Bateman there ties in 3 defenders, goes into contact. They're all climbing all over them. He gets the ball away to Gildart, and then he does all the work to stand up the fullback and finish it off. Great try.
Yeah, they were under the cosh, England. They needed something brilliant to happen. And it's the offload that releases Gildart, and he's away. Just watch it go across. Bateman goes on the outside, takes 3 defenders in. There's the offload. Gildart is away. No one's going to get to him, so his only cause of concern is a full-back. In and out. Lovely try. Brilliant play by England. Brilliant play. There's the offload. And just watch, he's away. Only got to focus on the full-back. In, out. Steps in. Beautiful try, Gildart.
Well, on his senior debut was actually on loan at Salford a few years ago, and he scored a try very similar to that on his senior Super League debut, and he's had that in his locker ever since. And I'm sure his dad Ian, who was a decent player. Did you ever play against his dad, Jiffy?
I played against his dad, and I played with him. Exactly, Dave. I played with him for Great Britain on tour.
I don't think he ever scored tries like that, did he?
I can tell you we never scored tries like that. He did score tries, but not from that distance, let me tell you. He was a very good player, though, his dad.
So Jake Connor, England lead 18-16. And Connor looking to tag on the extra 2. Oh, he's got the distance. Oh, he's not quite got the angle. But England still lead 18-16.
And that came really against the run of play, I felt, because New Zealand had a little bit of a stranglehold on them. They looked the threatening side. England really haven't been, in the second half, but it just changes on one play, and this is that play.
And we spoke about it. We said it was going to be more than just the 2 points from New Zealand to win this game. Now we've got 2 points, and is it going to be another try? Both teams do have it in them.
Well, the sheer delight. Debut try for Oliver Gildart. England lead 18-16. Now the crowd comes to life a little, and there are 12 minutes left to play. This is going to be quite a finale here.
Absolutely. Breathtaking 12 minutes ahead. New Zealand need to batten down the hatches, get their defense together and get aggressive. They're going to also need to loosen up their play if they're going to chase down those 2 points that they're behind.
Here's Clark out of dummy half, and Hodgson helps it on here, but wall of New Zealand defenders is quickly up in his face.
They will pick the intensity up now, New Zealand.
Lomax to Bateman, who steps and goes back towards the middle. And England beginning to open things up here. Williams back to Bateman. And here's Tom Burgess charging through on the gallop. Dragged down less than 20 away. The referee says the tackle was complete before the ball was lost here. So England have got away with one there, I think, because Rapiner had picked that up and was ready to go the distance.
I'll tell you what, there's nothing prettier than watching a big man run a long distance.
Here comes Graham. He's had a sheltered life as Robbie. 10 metres away. Last play. Last play. Clark delivers. Tompkins goes out wide. Williams didn't get really any weight on that kick. Drops on it himself but has to turn it over.
Yep.
If you're going to squeeze out New Zealand, you've got to make sure that you complete those last plays. I think we were talking about it at half-time. We were talking about it before half-time. The crucial part for England is to make sure that they get a great kick on the back of those plays, put New Zealand under pressure, potentially put themselves into a try-scoring position, but they've got to finish those off.
New Zealand are coming back fighting here. Jesse Bromwich to the ground, gets up and plays. Out of dummy half goes Joey Manu. We haven't seen some of the magic that he can produce today, but we will over the next 2-3 weeks. England desperate to resist New Zealand's advances. Brandon Smith to Powell. Keeping it alive, Nikorima back on the inside. But that's the fifth. Here comes the last. They're 40 metres away. The kick high from Johnston. Makinson underneath it. Should be fairly straightforward. Is fairly straightforward. What about the return? That's a great carry. That's a wonderful carry. And he's still going. Tommy Makinson leaving them all scattered. England with a sting in their tail here. McGilvray catches high and runs it hard.
And Tommy Makinson has been doing that for St Helens throughout the entire 2018 season. Same with Jermaine McGilvray, and that's what they need.
Two wingers have taken England to the halfway mark in only 2 tackles.
Plenty of tackles left in this set as well after those 2 great runs.
Clark left to Williams. Williams out to that left-hand side. Kicking early, and just putting a few doubts in there. Well, it's anybody's ball. Referee says play on, still alive. Oh, Williams, well, the referee blows his whistle.
He was offside.
Oh, there was a comedy of errors in that corner.
It was an interesting tactic in the first place. It was only the 3rd play, and he puts the kick through after running 60 metres. I think for me that was a bit of a mistake.
It was, yeah, I think it was a mistake putting the kick in, but because the quality of the kick was so high, you know, it caused confusion and they nearly got away with it. And Knock Gordon has given New Zealand the ball back, though.
New Zealand got to be a little more decisive there, though. If the ball goes down on the ground, you either got to get on the ground and make the ball go to zero, get the ball back, or, you know, let it go over the sideline.
But it all started with this. I mean, England's wingers made a reputation, didn't they, in the World Cup? Then it was McGilvray and Hall. But Makinson is picking up in the absence of Hall. Great clearance.
And that's the thing, if you don't present Tommy Makinson with a flat defensive line, he will rip you to shreds. And then on the back of that, you've got to deal with Jermaine McGilvery.
Some crashing efforts today from both sides. Oof, there's a big one from Thompson. It was a little high.
Some big collisions.
Oof. I'll tell you what, the familiar theme there with Luke Thompson is he hits it in, they come to hit him hard, and very often they bounce off him. So New Zealand with 8 minutes to rescue this situation.
Yeah, big defensive effort now needed from England, because New Zealand will offload and try everything so they can force the error.
But they're stepping it up in defence, England. Coming up in line, disciplined, but quick. Oh, they've let him go. Tapau makes a dent, and he's still going here. That's wonderful from the Kiwi. Bromwich. And now Proctor. But they're running out of tackles. They've only 2 to go. They've not encroached inside the English half yet. Warrior-Hargreaves has to take it in. So here comes the last. Here comes the last. Johnson, we know what he can conjure at any stage of a game. The kick is high. Lomax underneath it. Lomax lifts and takes it well enough. And that's all that was required of him. And England have it back.
Yeah, clock is their friend now, England. Keep possession.
Man in the rock. Penalty.
Oh.
Smart play by Sam Tompkins there. He just sort of...
Yep.
He stood back, let the ball touch the man. That's a penalty.
It's one of the toughest rules in the game, isn't it?
It is, but it's, look, we know it as players. Or actually, yeah, Sam's
dragged him back.
He's actually thrown him into the play there. So a little bit of gamesmanship there by Sam Tompkins, but that's why he was drafted back into the team. He's got that experience. He can settle the play, and he can actually come up with some smart, intelligent plays like that.
I think we might be seeing another Burgess impact before long, because George is down there. Is he warming up? No, he's putting the top back on again. I wonder if George is carrying a bit of an injury, George Burgess, because he's been warming up, but he's putting his top back on again.
One, move now. Hold, go.
Here's Thompson. Still got all the appetite in the world for the tough stuff down the middle. Clark a dummy half. Hodgson helps it on. Tompkins into the line. Bateman, the 2 departing Wiganers. Bateman just creeping another couple of inches. Oh, he's lost it. He's lost it. You can hear the growl of frustration there from the England player.
They don't need to have a quick play of the ball now. They need to just slow the tempo down, control the ball, control possession, get a repeat set to put it over the touchline.
Joseph Tarpany in there. He's just come onto the field. He's been very busy defensively. And just getting a little bit of a hand just tangled up in John Bateman's play the ball there. But again, yes, I'm with you, Jeffy. Look, it's up to the attacking player to get up and make sure that he plays the ball cleanly.
6 to go, and it is still in the balance.
New Zealand need to open up their play here. They're chasing the game. They need to get a little bit more expansive, get a little bit deeper, so they can give themselves some time and space on the ball.
Here's Brandon Smith out of dummy half. Shuffles it on again. Smith. Four gone. 2 to go. Nikarima, a little bit of a skip, and Johnson runs on, and into the line comes Watini Zalesniak, and the pass away to Manu. The referee says you were tackled. Ooh. Go back and play the ball.
I'm not sure if he was held there.
No, but he has been consistent with that play throughout the entire 75 minutes of this game.
Here we come, last play. Johnson, again it's a kick. McGilvray and Lomax. It's Lomax who zooms in and taken with his feet off the ground. Penalty straight away. Feet off the ground. If the defender hits you, only one decision.
Easy penalty.
Which is great news if you're an England fan, but very frustrating if you're a Kiwi.
That's it. I mean, it wasn't a bad kick. It was an attacking kick. Maybe should have gone to the edge where you got better jumpers like Ken Mamalo, Issa Masters, guys that can get off the ground and contest for the ball. That was done for the forwards. Timing just wrong there by Brandon Smith.
So Ireland beating Scotland in the men's game. In the women's game, great victory for the English women against the French there. What was it, 54-4? And earlier today, England Knights winning that, what sounded like a great adventure in Papua New Guinea, 16-12. England back in possession, and a quick shout ahead for after we finished France v Wales on online and connected TV. You can watch the stream of that European Championship game.
So a bit of luck there by England, a one-on-one steal there, and the ball just went loose.
Here's Clark. Thompson. Hill. Good strong carry again by him. Clark. Hodgson. Sixth is the next. Williams just bangs it out of play, just happy to roll the clock down and put New Zealand back on the back foot inside their own half.
1 or 2 sets left for New Zealand to win this game. 2 sets for England to defend, maybe.
And that's right. So you know, expect New Zealand to stand a little bit wider, spread their players throughout the full width and breadth of the field, and get a little bit deeper as well. It needs to become the Cody Nikorima show, the Sean Johnson show at this time.
Yep.
The go-to player, the key person to watch. Probably keep your eyes on captain Dallin Watene Zelezniak. He'll probably be able to tell you where they're thinking of setting the play up for.
Well, we've been in this position before, an England side leading narrowly against a New Zealand side with moments to go, and we know how that ended in that semi-final in 2013. Sean Johnson's magic, New Zealand cheer. Do England turn the story around this time? Here's Jesse Bromwich. Brandon Smith at dummy half. Taken hard by Warea Hargreaves. Back it comes. Johnson looking on the inside. Nikorima, who'd gone to his knees and gets up again. And Nikorima comes to this left-hand side, skips beyond Tompkins. The pass is wide to Marmala. And McGilvray has absolutely smacked him in the tackle. But this is the last play. Watch out. Johnson steps. Tompkins tries to close him down. The kick ricochets. Bateman drops on it. They're claiming that Bateman knocked on. I think they might have a case, but the decision goes England's way.
Hey, fortune favours people sometimes, and I think both the linesman and the referee just weren't in position to see the little bobble by John Bateman. But look, great defence by England. They saw Sean Johnson coming back off his right foot. They've done their homework on him. They kept their numbers upstream on the on their right-hand side, New Zealand's left-hand side of the field. Hard to put a kick through there when you've got so many legs in the way, and they got the ball back.
90 seconds to go. England in possession.
He's stolen it.
New Zealand will get one more set. Or at least they should do. Here's Clark.
Surrender. Stand now, hold, go 4.
Hodgson. Thompson.
Surrender.
There's the 5th. Tompkins just belts it down the middle, looking for distance here. Taken by Rapana. Looking to bring it back. England lifting themselves physically to get down there as quickly as possible. But look at this return. Watene Zelezniak pulled down. Tackle picked up by Masters. He just rams it forward again. And they're already up to the halfway line with 40 seconds to go. A pick-up and a surge by Rapana. 3 tackles to go. England need to make 3 tackles. New Zealand have 3 more chances. Mamala up to the 20. 2 tackles to go. Smith now. Here it is with Nikorima. Caught by the collar. Into the hands of Johnson. This is the fella. England have to watch him. Johnson begins to skip. Looks, puts the kick in. Chases after it. Dropped on. Referee says play on. And with 9 seconds left, it's England's game. Connor knows that. He's going to be slow to his feet. The England fans are suddenly aware of that. The ball's going to be played. Nothing is going to be taken. No risks here as picked up and taken down, and England win the first test. Memorable for that solo Gildart try that took them over the winning line, and a brave defensive effort at the last that saw them home.
Yeah, I think it was a great performance, but one bit of magic. You know, Bateman's offloads, Gildart scores, and that was a difference in the second half. It felt that New Zealand with a slightly better side, but the England defence kept them out, and that one try was the difference, and that is the difference at international level.
And I agree with that, Jeffy. Look, for me, it was nothing other than that thing you said, defence, defence, defence. They picked up on that try with Gildart, but after that, they had 15 minutes to defend for their lives, to defend for their country, and they did exactly that.